In this video, I'm going to be talking about why you should not mix brand and non-brand keywords in the same campaign on Google Ads. Now, I audit a lot of Google Ads accounts, and last week I finished auditing a Google Ads account that was spending about $15,000 a month, and they had this exact issue. And the issue was that they had a bunch of different campaigns, probably like 6 or 7 different campaigns, and they were mixing brand and non-branded terms in the same campaigns, and it was driving me absolutely crazy. So that's why I wanted to create this video to explain why you should not mix brand and non-brand keywords. So just to give you an idea of what the difference is between brand and non-branded keywords, if you're not familiar. So branded keywords are any keywords that relate to your brand. So for instance, if we're talking about, let's say Toyota, anything that falls under brand would be Toyota, would be Camry, RAV4, Prius, all the specific vehicle types underneath. Those would fall under brand. And then non-brand would be something like car, vehicle, EV. Those are keywords that don't have your branded terms in it. And the way that I like to explain this is that we have 2 different campaigns. Campaigns have budgets, and budgets are set at the campaign level. So if you were to mix your brand and non-brand keywords, let's just say that these 2 yellow post-its represent the type of campaigns, and let's just say that you had a brand campaign and a non-brand campaign, but you let brand keywords slip into the non-brand campaign because you don't have the right guardrails. So you might actually have this happening and you might not even be aware that it's happening. So if you don't have negative keyword guardrails in place, branded keywords can sometimes slip through the cracks and come in through your non-branded campaigns. And what happens here is that over time, you may see your cost per lead maybe around $30 and on this specific campaign, and then you're like, wow, that's actually doing really well because this campaign over here that's brand is getting leads at $50 and this one's getting leads for $30. Okay, let's scale up our non-brand campaign. But what is actually happening here is that branded keywords are coming in at like $10 cost per acquisition, and your non-brand keywords are coming in at, let's say, $50. So there's a pretty big discrepancy between the different type of keywords, and if you want to scale it, what's going to happen is you're going to put more budget into this campaign overall, and this is going to cap out, and this is going to have opportunity to scale, and it's going to become a lot less efficient over time. So the issue is that brand is being mixed here and you lose control over your budget. So brand traffic is typically cheap and very high converting. That's why it needs to live on its own. Non-brand traffic tends to be more expensive and a lot less predictable. So when you combine brand and non-branded keywords together in the same campaign, brand keywords can consume the budget because they convert easily, and Google thinks it's doing a great job because it's hitting your target cost per acquisition on non-brand, but it's actually doing that because it has branded keywords that's coming up underneath it. So non-brand keywords get underfunded, which limit growth. So you may think your performance is strong, but it's really carried by brand. That's why brand needs to live on its own in its own campaign. Data becomes misleading. Like I'd mentioned, if you have branded keywords in a non-brand campaign, what definitely is going to happen is that you're going to see that this campaign is going to look really efficient, but it's actually not. And that was the issue that I saw with this account that I audited last week. Their non-branded campaign was getting cost per acquisition well within the goals, that were set, but when I looked carefully at the specific terms that were converting, 90% of the terms that were converting in the non-branded campaigns were branded terms. Something else is that your bidding strategies will get distorted. Smart bidding requires a lot of very clean signals. So if you want it to use smart bidding strategies, Google's going to optimize towards those easy conversions if you have brand within your non-brand campaigns. And it's harder for non-brand to even get any auctions because brand will be the one that's taking that up. So another big issue is your search terms report and control becomes very messy. Branded queries are highly specific, and non-branded queries are broad and exploratory. It's harder to structure ad groups properly, apply negative clean words cleanly. Just don't do it. Just keep them separate, because then you'll be able to separate your ad messaging. Your ad messaging should look different between brand and non-brand. Non-brand would be more discovery type of messaging where someone may not know about your brand, and branded keywords would have messaging that assumes that the user already knows about the brand and what you have to offer. So the issue ultimately is that you won't be able to scale effectively when you have these two together. Brand demand will eventually become capped. People either search for you or they don't. Non-brand is really where growth happens. This is where the prospecting happens. So if you mix them, you don't know how much to invest in prospecting and also when non-brand is actually working or not. So that's what I have for you, and a very good practice to put in place to ensure that your branded keywords do not appear in non-branded campaigns is to add your branded terms as negative keywords on the non-brand campaign. I know that sounds a little bit confusing. Like, why do I have to add brand as on my non-brand as negative? Because what will happen if you don't is that Google, especially if you're using phrase and exact match, are going to do it for you, or is going to do it for you, even if that was not your intention. So you may not necessarily be bidding on branded terms, but because you are using phrase or broad match, your brand could somehow slip in within here. I've seen this many times if there's no proper guardrails. So definitely ensure that you have proper guardrails in order to separate brand from non-brand. A lot of different campaigns that I see and audit will have brand and non-brand separated, but when I dig deeper, I do see brand accidentally appearing underneath. So you definitely don't want to be one of those advertisers where this is happening. So let me know if you have any questions or have any concerns about this topic, and let me know if this is something you're doing right now or not. If it's not, definitely take a few minutes to make sure that you separate these out so you can have dedicated budgets towards them and ensure that there's a clear line of separation between your brand traffic and non-brand traffic. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. I post videos every week about Google Ads, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.